important, food or water? Let's find out. Now, food, water, a walk, and protein will build little dogs into big dogs. Oh, looks like the water's more important. We had a dog fight. Now, what do you think happened? What went wrong? How do you deal with those things? Don't feed two dogs the same thing at the same time. But it's good to put your dogs in scenarios that do what? Give you perspective. Now, who was the aggressor? That brother there. That brother there was the aggressor. This dog is so needy, man. To the board of people who've asked, hey, is that Borbo needy? Yes. Now, back to the dog fight. Two things we were trying to do is figure out what's more important, water or food. We know that water is a key component in all growth. Well, in this case, the dog drank, and as they got to the coat, they said, hold on, is that a brisket in there? I think that's a brisket. And they still didn't do it. I had to pull the brisket out. Boogey put his nose in and tried to, but he says, I don't think I want the brisket. Let me drink some more water. 3 things that your dog needs is water, good food, and get this, a great walk. 4 hours from now, they'll go on a walk. That will help and assist with digestion. I could technically take them on a walk 30 to 45 minutes after eating and it still be safe, which would improve digestion, which means it would activate, they would begin to process things. These are giant breeds, and from my understanding, the Borbo alone can put on up to 1 pound a day. In certain stages. Shout out to Richard DeBerry, because we did a live, which you can go watch, and you know what he said? That the Presa Canario is technically supposed to grow 10 pounds a month. I was like, oh wow. How did you know that? History. But 10 pounds a month, a Presa can grow. They grow tall, and then they grow up. You go, oh no, that's a dog. Water is what keeps the body working. Dogs have about 10 more, but their bodies are made of about 10% more water than ours. And it keeps you in what they call an anabolic state growth. Well, we want these dogs to grow up and be big and strong. Keep them healthy. Water. Then you say, well, what builds the dog? Great protein, of course, calcium, phosphorus, all that other stuff. Minerals, trace minerals, all that stuff. Fiber, builds the gut. Then you say, what sustains the dog? Activity. What sustains a dog's mentality? What sustains a dog's heart? What sustains a dog's capabilities is exercise. If you are a person who exercises, you know what you feel great after every workout. You don't like it, it hurts, it sucks, doesn't feel good, you're sore, but you cannot ever leave a workout and think, man, I shouldn't have done that. Well, your dog feels the same way. They want to be out seeing the world. They need to be out seeing new things, because that's how you build confidence. In this particular case, I wanted to test where they're at behaviorally. Maestro would have been more aggressive. Make sure you understand that. If I put Joker and Maestro out there, they would have been teenage brother to 6-year-old brother. 15-year-old jumping on a 6-year-old is not okay. It's not fair. 2 dogs roughly around the same age, same ideas, AKA they're not thinking yet, even though Boogie's a good thinker. You say, well, let's see what happens. Can they share a water bowl? Yes, that's good. I want the dogs, regardless of the food, to be able to share a water bowl, so that's something that you want to practice. Can they share food? Probably not. So people say, hey, why do you feed them in a crate? Because that's the safest place in the whole wide world, next to being the will of God. They need to eat separately so they can calmly, collectively enjoy their food, and we don't have to deal with the blood afterwards, AKA nobody get into no argument. Some people don't realize that dogs need isolation at times. They need a place to chill and calm down. In this particular case, never again. Do I put their bowls next to each other even if they're eating separately? Never again. Without the crate, do they share food? Can they share water? Absolutely. Water is valuable but not dangerous. Something about food, just like all of us. If somebody came through and used their hand and grabbed some food and ate it off your plate, you'd be ready to beat the hell out of them. That's the truth. So in this case, how do you break up a dog fight? Well, quick. And then other times you have to let them finish. You see two dogs going at each other. If one's not a killer, keep in mind, if two dogs are arguing, one of them wants to simply put the dog in its place. Every now and then, one dog will not give up, and the dog who's putting him in place will keep putting him in his place. These are moments where you figure out who's the alpha in the home. Boogey wouldn't have stopped, but I need Boogey to be under control. What I also learned and loved was that Boogey didn't redirect towards me. So you see me grab Boogey. Another thing you want to be mindful of, and I would have dropped Mowgli if that's the case, is if Boogey turn around and try to get at me in any way, shape, or form, then I go like this. Oh, smash! And it would have all been recorded. I wouldn't have hit the dog. I would have calmed him down and let him know he's not in control. Another thing that you might not have saw was while Boogey was drinking the water, his tail tucked. Now comment below, what does that mean when a dog's got his tail tucked? So there was a different version of this video that was gonna come out, and I saw his tail. I said, I need to pay attention here, because this could get bad. But they're small, so I can still manage it. But if I'm not tuned in, it'll get ugly like a Bubba Sparks song. When you have two domineering breeds in your home, take your time, pace yourself, learn early. We're under the 5-month mark still, I believe, or getting right there. 6 to 9 months, they start getting a little bit more hair on their chest per se, and they're gonna get bigger. I need to double down and work with them over the next 30 days to ensure me and them are on the same page. So as we get into who's in charge, that stage of growth, they remember I'm in charge here. Guys, take care of your dogs.